Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Abad. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Yeah, man, we're about to dive into Judges chapter 11, the story of Jephthah. Before I begin reading, I just want to point out that some of the most righteous men within the scriptures, within our heritage, within our lineage, of the Hebrew Israelites, did some of the most foolish things. All right, just because you're a man of the Lord, just because you're a righteous man, doesn't mean you don't sin. Doesn't mean you don't do foolish things. All right, and also in Judges, during the time of Judges, when you go to, I believe it's the last chapter in Judges chapter 21. Verse 25, it says, "In those days was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes." So the book of Judges, when you're reading the book of Judges, there was a lot going on and a lot of self-willed activity because there was no order, all right? There was no order set up, that you had different judges, which another word for judge was savior or deliverer. You had different deliverers popping up to help certain tribes of the nation of Israel out of different situations. So when you go to Judges chapter 11, this is the story of Jephthah, okay? And this is Judges 11, chapter 1. Now Jephthah, the Gileadite, was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of an harlot. And Gilead begat Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah, and said unto him, "Thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman." So his half brothers, which really, it ain't half brothers; those his brothers, because you got the same father, but in this world, you only have, no, those are brothers, all right? The lineage is determined by your father. But they looked at him as, not equal to them because his mother was a prostitute, all right? So they kicked him out of the house. Verse 3, "Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelt in the land of Tob, and there were gathered vain men to Jephthah and went out with him." So when he left his father's house, left from his brethren, and dwelt in the land of Tob, he met some men that were vain. What does it mean? It means these men were self-willed. It means these men did what they wanted to appease their desires, all right, and the things that they wanted to have, all right. Kind of like a bandit in a way. Like you have bandit groups that come together, band together, and they may, go to a certain land, and when they get there, oh, I like this woman here, or I like this over here, I'm gonna take it, fight me for it, it's mine. Stuff like that. All right. When a man is vain, they only care about doing things to fulfill the desires of their flesh. Okay, so he had a crew of men that were like that. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Verse 4, "And it came to pass in the process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob." So Ammon came up against the land of Israel, but they didn't have, the strength, manpower to deal with Ammon, right? So the elders of Gilead, they went to go get Jephthah, to go find out Jephthah. Verse 6, "And they said unto Jephthah, Come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, Did not ye hate me and expel me out of my father's house? And why are ye come unto me now when ye are in distress?" Right? Verse 8, "And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, Therefore we turn again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. And one major trait you'll learn about men of the Lord is, regardless if they have trouble with lust, like Samson, or drinking all the time, or having troubles in the flesh. That's I'm just saying like that. Men of the Lord have trouble in the flesh because we are in the flesh. But one common trait you'll see with a man of the Lord is that man will always have the trait of forgiveness, mercy, all right, humility. He'll have those righteous fruits of the Spirit, despite his shortcomings within the flesh. He'll always have those righteous fruits of the Spirit, character traits within him. So though his brothers had basically discarded him, Jephthah could have said, fuck y'all, right? But that wasn't the mentality of Jephthah. He still was going to help his people. So here it is, they're asking him to be their head and lead them against the Ammonites, all right? Because Jephthah had an army. He had manpower. Verse 10. Let me see. No, where we at? Yeah, verse 9. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, if ye bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord Yahweh deliver them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, the Lord be witness between us, if we do not so according to thy words. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent, so he went with them, because they was like, yeah, we're going to make you head over us. Just help us beat these Ammonites. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, what hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon, even unto Jabbok, and unto Jordan, Jabbok, and unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those land again peaceably. So Ammon had a problem with the lands that Israel was allowed to dwell in when they came out of Egypt, because those lands had belonged to Ammon before Israel was able to possess them and dwell there. Remember, Israel needed a place to stay when they was leaving Egypt because they were going through the wilderness. Verse 14. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto. And in like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not consent. And Israel abode in Kadesh. So remember the story. The Edomites came out against us with their weapons, with their swords. They didn't want us to pass through their land. And that's why the Lord told King Saul, when he first became king, to put them damn Edomites to death for doing that. All right? Them Amalekites. And even Moab didn't want us to pass through their land. All right? So Israel needed to find a spot to rest, to abode, to pitch tent. Verse 18. Then they went along through the wilderness. So Jephthah is explaining this to the Ammonites, all right, in his letter. Then they went along through the wilderness and compassed the land of Edom. So they went past the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the border of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. So they stayed out of the way of Edom and Moab's land, right? Verse 19. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, the king of Heshbon. And Israel said unto him, Let us pass, we pray thee, through thy land into my place. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coast, but Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz and fought against Israel. So look, this guy Sihon or Sihon, he was the king of Ammon, right? During this time when Israel was coming out of Egypt, but he didn't want Israel to pass through his land either. But this time when they rose up to fight against Israel, Israel fought back, and this is what happened, right? And the Lord power of Israel. This is verse 21. No, I'm gonna read verse 20 again. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coast, but Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz and fought against Israel. And the Lord power Yahweh of Israel delivered Sihon and all his people into the hand of Israel, and they smote them. So Israel possessed all the land of the Amorites, the inhabitants of that country, and they possessed all the coast of the Amorites from Arnon even unto Jabbok, and from the wilderness even unto Jordan. So they came up to fight them, and they fought them back. And the Lord gave them, the Israelites, power to overcome the Amorites, and that's how they were able to dwell in that land, right? So verse 23. So now you fast forward to this time. Jephthah is like, why y'all trying to say we just come in to steal people's land? We was asking nicely to pass through. Can we pitch tent here? Can we pitch tent there? Everybody want to war against us, so we had to do what we had to do. Verse 23. So now the Lord power of Israel has disposed Salah. So now the Lord power of Israel have dispossessed the Amorites from before his people Israel, and shouldest thou possess it? Will not thou possess that which Chemosh thy power giveth thee to possess? So whomsoever the Lord our power shall drive out before us, then them we will possess. So Jephthah was saying, look, if your power, Chemosh, was able to give you power to overcome your enemies and possess their land, will not you possess it? Right? So how you gonna fault us? Because we won the victory. We won the land outright, fair outright. We warred against each other and we got the land. We didn't want to put hands and feet on y'all, but we had no choice, and we won fair and square. So we possessed the land. Would not you have done the same? That's what Jephthah is trying to explain to them. Verse 25. And now art thou anything better than Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelt in Heshbon and her towns, and in Aurora and her towns, and in all the cities that be along the coast of Arnon, 300 years? Why therefore did ye not recover them within that time? So now he's digging into them. He's like, look, when the king of Moab was popping his shit at us and fucking with us, why didn't you come and try to get your land back then? All right, why you wait till now? Verse 27. Wherefore I have not sinned against thee, but thou doest me wrong to war against me. The Lord power Yahweh, the judge, be judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. So at this point, Jephthah is like, look, we got to get down, then we got to get down. Remember, Judges chapter 11 opens up by saying that Jephthah was a man of valor, meaning he was a man of war, a man of combat, all right, a man of getting things done by the sword. All right, he was able to win in battle. All right. That was the main reason why they wanted him to be head over him, to come against, to help them fight the Ammonites, right? So he said, the Lord power Yahweh going to be the judge. So let's get down. Verse 28, howbeit the king of the children of Ammon hearkened not unto the words of Jephthah, which he sent him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came unto Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah of Gilead, and from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord. Now this is where Jephthah makes a foolish mistake. You can call it a mistake, but he made a foolish vow, right? Remember I said men of the Lord do foolish things at times. You know, sometimes they can be self-willed in the moment. And he was a man of valor. He wanted that victory. So at this moment, he basically just said anything just to get the victory. Right? So he's going to make a vow unto the Lord, power Yahweh. So because Jephthah wanted that victory, this is the vow that Jephthah did. Verse 30. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, power Yahweh, and said, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth out of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So Jephthah said, look, if you allow me to win this battle amongst the Ammonites, when I get home, when I return peacefully home, whatever comes out of my house to meet me first, I will offer that up as a burnt offering. Now, what does the scriptures tell us about making vows? Let's get Numbers chapter 30 real quick. Go to Numbers chapter 30. And let's read verse 2. Is it verse 2? Yeah, this is Numbers chapter 30, verse 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, power Yahweh, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. Now, it can be a foolish vow, but you made it, so you have to fulfill it, right? That's the commandment. It don't matter, you know, what kind of vow it is. You vowed to do it to your power. However foolish it may be, you got to do it because you did the foolish act, right? So that's what Jephthah said. I'm going to offer up a burnt offering of the first thing that comes out of my house to meet me. Verse 32. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands. And he smote them from Auror even till thou come to Meneneth, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. So he won. He took down 20 cities. Verse 34. And Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances, and she was his only child. Beside her he had neither son nor daughter. So his daughter came out first to meet him when he got back home safely. Now you see why it was a foolish vow, right? He wasn't thinking clearly during that time. He just wanted that victory. Verse 35. And it came to pass, so she came out celebrating. She came dancing for her father. Father's back. Father's won. He came home in one piece. Right? Verse 35. And it came to pass when he saw her, that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me. For I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. So he rent his clothes and started mourning because he realized, oh, man, the vow that I made. Oh, man, yeah, right? So remember, he said the first thing that comes out, I'm going to offer up as a burnt offering unto the Lord. Verse 36, and she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth. For as much as the Lord hath taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even of the children of Ammon. And you see the mind state of women, and this was a young woman back then. You see the mindset of these women, even if it caused them to lose themselves, lose their lives, or lose their livelihood the way they would want to live, they would do it if it was in honor of the Lord, if it was obeying the Lord. These women today would totally rebel against that. Verse 37. And she said unto her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my fellows. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountain. So she went with her friends, and they were in mourning for her virginity because she was never going to be with a man. She was never going to know a man. right? Now, when you know, scholars have read this chapter, and some say that the meaning of her being a burnt offering was that she was going to be in the service of the Lord for the rest of her life, and she was not going to be able to be with a man. Other scholars say that Jephthah actually sacrificed his daughter, all right, killed his daughter and sacrificed her unto the Lord. Now we know human sacrifice is not acceptable within our heritage, all right. Yahweh Shemel Shai does not accept human sacrifice, but remember now, this is a vow that Jephthah made, a foolish vow that Jephthah made. So he had to keep his vow, all right? And during the time of Judges, a lot of things were happening that wasn't customary, all right? It wasn't something that would happen on the regularly throughout Israel, because remember, we had no king and men did according to their own will. Now, regardless, if he actually killed his daughter as a burnt sacrifice, or just she had to go into some type of service to where she would never deal with a man again, regardless, he made a vow in which he lost his daughter forever, right? That's the point. He lost his daughter forever, okay? So verse 39, let's finish this up. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed. And she knew no man, and it was a custom in Israel, that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days in a year. So they went up every year, and for 4 days they would go and lament the daughter of Jephthah. So, and verse 29 says he did the vow which he vowed. So we know for sure that he lost his daughter. Either way you slice it. So it was a very foolish vow, and it shows you how men of the Lord, righteous men of the Lord, can do foolish things. You have to be careful with your words. So say life is in the power of the tongue. But even Jephthah is mentioned in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, I believe, when it's talking about the heroic patriarchs of our nation. But not because of his vow, but because of his victories within the Lord, within his battles. All right. Even Samson is mentioned in the book of Hebrews, but we know Samson went off too. But why was Samson mentioned? Because of his victories within the Lord. So yeah, man, it's just a story to take heed to. And yeah, till the next time I say shalom.